Alright guys, another School Fortnight recap 4, part 2. This is week 7, people. It's nearly the end of the term. Just to clarify, this is just term 1. It's nearly the end of term 1. So it's like week 7 of term 1. 2015, bruh. So anyway, it's Thursday, the 12th of March, 2015. Let's start off with the year assembly. Grace forgave me before the year assembly started. Our year coordinator wasn't even there, so it was the assistant coordinator discussing the usual problems, like, oh, you should listen to the teachers, you know, that thing. Anyway, so first they had electives for the first 2 periods, like most people. It was the final theory lesson for the mantle clock portfolio. The whole class was working on it. I finalized my work by asking Sir a few questions. When I finalized all my work, I printed all the paperwork for the mantle clock portfolio, which was over 15 pages. The whole class was like freaking out, you know, like over the printer and that. And I didn't even get to print the whole thing, but at least I got the drawings. When I say the whole thing, I did print the drawings, like all of the drawings. For Geo, it was 3rd period. Miss checked our homework again, and she's pissed at most of the class, like just repeatedly again. We did the homework advances, of course, and that we didn't have homework. When the lunch bell rang at 12 o'clock p.m., I went to the front gates and held it for quite a long time. I think it was over 30 to 50 people left because of sport or visitors of the school, but mostly students for sport and people were thanking me for holding the gate. Eventually I stopped and followed my teacher for sport and bushwalking. I came in the bus after Sir, and everyone else was there except Roderick because he had sports attention. Miss came just after me, did the roll call, and had everyone there. Did the usual, Lords did a head count, counted up to 21. We were going to the beach as Sir said, and handed the maps out. We arrived at Cronulla at Hungry Point at 1 o'clock p.m. where we started walking to the beach. It was very clean and peaceful, you know, the streets, as we were far from any roads. It took us 45 minutes to walk to Esplanade. So I thought I was Spanish because of how I pronounced it and what I look like. I told him I thought I was Filipino and I don't speak Spanish. And so it's like, oh, it's the closest I can ever get. And Miss was like laughing with him. I was like, what the hell? Alright, it was, anyways, while we were walking, there was 2 groups in the walking. I was at the front with the girls, you know, Amy, the ladies, Amy, Rita, and Michelle, etc. While the back is like everyone else with the teacher, because we were so ahead. For another 10 minutes that passed, we just passed Illawarra Beach, where there was this restaurant, and you could smell something sizzling nearby, and Sir thought it was chorizo, and he also thought chorizo was Thai. My bad, man. And I was like, it's not Thai, sir. About 5 minutes later, we made it to our destination at Wonder Beach. It was a long walk, but it was worth it. We saw many students from many schools, I think 4 to 5 or more schools, when we were just walking through Cronulla. Man, that was like so many schools or like students. It's like another day at the beach. So I made a bet with us students for catching the waves and swimming back to the shore. Whoever gets back to the shore first wins $10. I never gambled. I never gambled. But thank God it was fine weather at the beach. It was like 20 to 23 degrees Celsius that day, I guess. I got changed like the rest of the people, like Andreas, Joe K, George H, and both Patricks. While all of the ladies went to get changed at the changing rooms with Miss. I was getting changed, and Andreas was like, so you got SPF 100? I was like, what the heck, 100? That's too much. Yeah, I need it. I'm so white, man. Like, look at me. Look at Patrick N. He's white, yeah? Like, but yeah, he's white, but not as pale as you, man. Like, but then I saw Christian B. He was so tanned. Like, if you combine Andreas and Patrick N together, it wouldn't match as tanned as Christian B, man. Like, he was so tanned just by looking at his back while he was rushing to the beach. I mean, the ocean. Anyways, all the Year 10 gentlemen swam first, caught the waves. The water was so salty. There was so many seaweed. The waves had a pattern, it gradually increases and it starts all over again after the strongest wave. We had so much fun. The furthest us men went over 20 meters away from the shore. The ladies came in soon. They came soon after they got changed, but most of them didn't go as far as we did because of how strong the waves were. Some of the ladies didn't even swim. I saw them from afar. As they took a walk and stopped around 100 meters or so. You could see them because of their uniform and the fact that there was hardly anyone at the beach. It was just Amy, Rita, and of course our friends, because friends stick together. I like that. Later on, I got tired of swimming. Most of the ladies went to the shore, had a chat, or just sunbaked, just to get a tan, like Taylor, Lords, or other friends. I forgot who Tova was with that day, but she was wearing black shorts and Holy Spirit sports shirt, though. I took a break by sitting down and just wanted to relax and contemplate about my status in life. And I was like, "Where's the teachers?" And then the ladies answered, "Oh, they went to buy something from the canteen, which was pretty far." So I continued to swim up until I got a cramp about 15 meters away from the shore. I just went ashore again and ran and stretched. Eventually, I swam, caught the waves over time. We stopped. Everyone was on shore this time. We were back to relaxing to the sand again with most people, while George H and Joe K were wrestling, and I spectated the fight with Andreas and Patrick N. Then Chalcintha came and said that it was gay because of the position they were in. They were both on the ground. Everyone was on shore this time, even the teachers. Some of us were getting changed. I went up ahead and followed Miss and Sir, but no one else followed. Well, I saw Amy and Rita, Michelle and Celine behind us, and I waved to them when I was walking up. Well, when we were walking up, me, Miss and Sir. And I looked at them, and a few minutes later, we never saw anyone following us. We were like 60 meters away from the beach. So I tried to look for them from a view, but we were near the restaurant at Delaware Beach. We saw no one. The teachers decided to just press on and get to the bus and just pick the rest of the students at Wonder Beach. So I made a joke about calling the sport next term Survivor Evolution. The fact that they got us a map. I was like, well, miss, you gave us a map, why didn't they just use it just to follow us? It's the logic. After that, we made it to the bus, drove back, we drove back to the, Wonder Beach. I just already got changed, but my swim shorts were still, underneath my track pants, so I didn't change my underwear. I only changed that at home. Anyways, it was already 3:30 p.m. and we finally made it to Lakemba and got off most of the people. Nearly 3:30 p.m. When we got to Lakemba, it was 4:30, and I ate kettle chips which were really spicy. Made it to the train station. Well, most people got picked up from their parents or relatives, and just went home. I got changed, I fell asleep, did my homework, then I woke up, did my homework, ate dinner, I went to sleep. For Friday, the 13th of March 2015, double science, first 2 periods were double science. Wrote groups and wrote the valency of some of the elements in each group. That is Alkaline Metals, Alkaline Earth Metal, Halogens and Noble Gases. So it was disgusting, as always, to keep us informed. We had to draw an atom using Bohrs Planetary Model with electrons of each element. That was lithium, sodium, chlorine, fluorine. For the last one, it was Lithium-Flouride and Sodium Chloride, which I found myself puzzled and didn't care if it was a perfect circle or not. For period 2 was science. We did for period 2 of science, we did a practical. It was neutralization experiment. We had to neutralize hydrochloric acid with sodium hydroxide, also using the universal indicator. Went to our groups and got dressed to meet our safety standards, apron and goggles. And anyways, we did the neutralization experiment. My group failed first because it turned into a complete base. It was like purple. And Callum was so stupid, he disposed the waste in the sink and Gibran was so pissed because like of what Callum had done, and he was like, "I'm watching the recording." We eventually done it the right way. The second time we done it, it turned green for over 17 drops of sodium hydroxide. In English, we worked on our assessment, which is to create a story on challenge, endurance, and survival, which was which had to be at least 900 words minimum. So Sir called us one by one with a review of the drafts that we did. He told me to be more descriptive rather than being more linear or straightforward. For music, I firstly came in, but Helen beat me to it. Karen was there with Jesse, because Karen's in most of my classes. Anyways, Sir was showing us the Year 12 project, Year 12's assignment. They had to add music to this movie. They chose. When Manu and Thomas came in, they were like, "What the?" And because it was The Shining, the movie where Jack Nicholson becomes a psychopath. Anyways, he hacks through this door with an axe, and this woman has a kitchen knife in this room, this bathroom. Anyway, she doesn't bother stabbing him when his face is like saying, "Here's Johnny." I agree with Jezebel. She could have stabbed him in the face, but all she did was like cut him as he tried to reach for the handle, you know. At lunch, I know I don't talk about lunch or recess. I was at the library checking over the maths sheet to get an understanding of algebra. Sat next to Dominic, Grace, Christina, Dominic, Grace, Christina, and Bryce. Had a chat with Grace about our relationship, and we had to reach a negotiation. Not really. It's more about me loving her on a substantial level. For PD theories, Sir gave us time to fill in the worksheet, which was the assignment, but we couldn't conclude from the KFC because that's to be completed next theory lesson as an exam. So he used me as an example, which I drank beer for which is 5%, while Lisa drinks cruisers, which is 30%. If Lisa was to drink 3 bottles of her cruiser, it would take me 18 bottles of beer just to keep up with her drink. Anyways, for the last period, I had bats. Did algebra worksheets for the whole lesson. Ibby, Ronnie, Edgar, and Alicia went there, but it was still loud, you know. We worked on our worksheets. I realized on the second sheet I was doing it wrong, but at the end of the lesson, by not dividing, I was cool throughout the whole lesson, you know, like the whole bats lesson. I just did my work while Laura, besides me, struggled with Taylor as they looked like, "Oh, how do you do this?" And they just like looked at my worksheet. I don't understand, like, oh, you know, just as typical if you don't understand. I knew what I was doing, but I knew it was wrong. And the second one, like, I know something's wrong, but I just continued because you just want to finish it, you know? Just killing time. And that was it. I hope you liked it.